Ha! Okay, so the teaser trailer for Amazon's Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series dropped today, I believe. And I just have to say something. It is I'm a long time Tolkien fan, and fan isn't really perhaps the best word. I'm not really like living by Tolkien or anything like that. I'm just pretty knowledgeable about it, and it's been my interest, my sort of hobby. And especially when I was a little bit younger, I kind of moved on to other things. Anyway, the trailer looks a little bit like a checklist of modern Hollywood, current year sensibilities. It is basically a list of everything you have to do in current year. So it has strong female characters and even more stronger strong female characters and white male tears and helpless inactive wild male tears and oh yeah, and of course there's Don Lemon. Okay, fine. I'm not one of these guys yet that will immediately start bombarding the comment section of said trailer with Tolkien quotes, and this is just insane what's going on down there in that comment section. It's just pages upon pages of the same Tolkien quote about evil not being able to create anything, only twisting and distorting what already exists. We don't know yet if it is twisted and distorted, although all those current year stuff aside, it seems a little bit in some details, unfitting for Middle-earth. There is this Vanity Fair press release from a few days ago, or maybe a few weeks. I don't really mind. I don't really remember. I don't care that much. But there is this release with all the pictures, and there is Galadriel in her full plate armor, very late medieval looking armor, and she is back in it in this trailer as well. And I just I would say, not to be very picky, this doesn't really look like something from Middle-earth, especially not something that an elf would wear. You'd expect an elf to have an armor that allows for some movement flexibility, movement range and the like. You wouldn't expect Galadriel or any other elf to fight in such a clunky, huge armor. It isn't to say that they cannot have a plate armor. I don't know. It makes so little sense, given all we kind of know and came to expect. Of course, it can be easily countered by saying that they are just reversing my expectations. Well, they still do not show any other elf in such an equipment. They're just a specific Joan d'Arc-esque thing for Galadriel for some reason. And of course the insistence that Galadriel has to be a war hero, just why? There's no mention of it in the entire Silmarillion. She was participating in many of the important events in Silmarillion in the first era and possibly in the second too, possibly. But why exactly does she have to be clad in such a heavy warrior armor and be at the forefront of the battle when she is such an excellent, what would you say, inspiring figure? Somebody said, I don't remember who, that this is like showing a prequel to Mother Mary Combat Zone sort of prequel. And but did you know that Mother Mary once was a badass assassin?
Imagine the Virgin Mary right before she has little baby Jesus. She's out fighting wars and climbing mountains with fucking knives. Shit.
There was this somewhat similar situation with Arwen in the original and the actual proper Lord of the Rings adaptation and Peter Jackson's trilogy. Arwen is shown in a warrior-like situation. She carries a sword, But that's not all we know about her. Maybe there is more to this Galadriel too, and maybe that's just a little bit they wanted to show off as a super cool thing because you go girl and all the like. So okay, I will refrain from being too judgmental yet, but still, like that's just doesn't look like Galadriel. I also feel a little bit of a pity for the actress, because she will be exposed to the inevitable comparisons with Kate Blanchett, and good freaking luck with that. Just, what did they do to this poor girl?
They're gonna kill that poor woman. They're gonna kill that poor woman.
So that's yet another reason why perhaps focusing on Galadriel in this series isn't that much of a great idea, since everybody will be comparing this to Galadriel from the original trilogy and the movie trilogy. That is a really high bar. So they could have had many unused characters. They could have had Galad, for instance, an elven king who is directly a leader of the free peoples, so to say, or at least most of them, or at least the elves. In the time period of Middle-earth they are trying to portray, but they already said they will be, comprising this hundreds of years of events to a few years, very condensated kind of adaptation, which is, again, why you cannot figure out a way of presenting a narrative spanning over 300 or several hundreds of years. And of course, speaking of twisting and distorting and squeezing and stretching the original narrative, I don't see why do you need to have hobbits. Like, look, no, like the Middle Earth is not all about hobbits. I understand that the Lord of the Rings is kind of centered around them, or is told through their eyes, but through their perspective. But again, why? It's just a giant why. And but of course, you had to also have the cute, harmless, sweet, morally clean indigenous people. They already declared that they are based off of, in their vision of the Middle Earth, they are based off of some indigenous people. At least one actor said that, if I remember correctly. And there will be Maori types among the hobbits. Again, it's very clear what are the hobbits based on. What is the real life inspiration for the hobbits? They are idealized early 20th century English countryside. And what exactly are you trying to do with them? If you were to try and show the Harfoots, the progenitors, I guess, of the hobbits, well, that would need to be a different story, because it would need to happen 1,000 years later, perhaps, or 13 centuries later, something like that, a long time later, and it would need to be therefore centered around a completely different conflict, I guess. The hobbits or the Harfoots first enter the stage of events in the Middle Earth, and between Sauron's fall that you saw in the prologue to the Fellowship of the Ring and the events of the Fellowship of the Ring proper. So they are a relatively young race. Dreaded word, but by the way, race means something slightly different in Middle-earth than it does in our world. So again, Don Lemon elves, and it just doesn't seem they are not reaching the point of the sort of diversity that Tolkien would portray or talk about. Just about most people in these books and stories are white. Doesn't mean that they are not diverse and they are not different to each other. There's more to the differences between people, cultural and otherwise, than just a bloody skin tone. And they still insist to have, a diverse female dwarf And Don Lemon with a bow. And they even did the thing they always do, and they always expect everybody to be wow and completely surprised. They did the little face reveal for Galadriel, and she has a little action moment, and she sort of drops from a cliff, and she stops the fall by sticking a knife in the cliff and holding, and then she raises her face upwards, and then her feminine female face is shown. And of course, I expect that they wanted to make us all bedazzled and surprised and wowed, but guys, at this point, we have seen this so many effing times. In flipping Black Widow, that was just one of the most recent examples when, oh, reveal, it's a woman. Oh, you would never expect that a woman can do such a cool, manly, strong things like hanging out of a cliff or beating people to a pulp. Would you? You did not expect it, you misogynist? Of course. Of course, nobody is surprised at this point. It has been done so many times, and actually it has been done since, I don't know, bloody ages. There is a moment like that in the original Star Wars, in The Return of the Jedi, when Leia drops her mask, takes her helmet off. There she is. It's Leia, not some sort of unknown new character. Not a man rescuing Han Solo, but a princess rescuing Han Solo. You see how subversive we are? And they have been doing it since forever, and they still expect us to be somehow surprised by it. I am perplexed. I don't understand this expectation. They keep doing it. Nobody is surprised, Hollywood. Just nobody. Now, for the comments, let's go back to that problem for 1 second. For the comments, it is daunting and weird, and everybody. For a second, I thought that they were just Slavs. I mostly saw Russian and Ukrainian and Polish. Would you expect that? And they were all quotes from Tolkien, translated into their respective languages. And for a moment I thought they were mainly Slavs for some reason, rebelling and being angry at the teaser trailer. But apparently if you segregate, Jesus Christ, Freudian slip, everything is about bloody... Never mind. Where were I? Yes, if you sort it by from newest to oldest, you would actually see a lot of other languages doing the same thing, posting the same quote. So I don't know exactly what to make of that. I would still say for now, I will refrain from any judgment and joining any bandwagons, because it might be as well that the show isn't as bad as we expect. It might as well be that these diversity hires are just a lip service they had to do because otherwise they would never get any reward in current Hollywood. That's a sad state of affairs, but it is the state of affairs we are currently inhabiting. So there is a chance that it's not twisted and evil. Like, come on, let's not jump directly to twisted and evil. I expect most of the people in the creative team behind the series as not twisted and evil. Except maybe one or two, like the Lord of Amazon himself. But anyway, regardless, it is, we will see. That's what I want to say. I will still see the first episode. I will watch it, and then I will make my mind. But my expectations are already quite low, and it isn't just about all the problems that just are constant. And I just spent 14-15 minutes talking about it. I know, but honestly, it's just at this point, it's just that's just Hollywood. That's just what Hollywood does. There still are other creative concerns. They don't care about them as much anymore, because why would they, if the parameters of what deserves reward and what doesn't is subversing the expectations, reversing stereotypes and fighting against stereotypes. even if it has nothing to do with the source material, even if it has nothing to do with the story. So storytelling is, sidelined, because why would we care about such antiquated things? But all that aside, I would still bloody say that there may be other reasons this show does not look particularly enticing, and one of those I already mentioned, this weird kind of armor design for Galadriel. It is a neat, small little detail, but if it's, if it goes further than that, that's why I am going to watch the first episode, because I want to check if that's true. But if it goes further than this one armor piece, the design choices, then it kind of shows complete lack of interest in the Middle-earth, which perhaps is not the best state of mind for a person responsible for adapting the Middle-earth to a small screen, so to say. So I don't know, but it's not going to be a work of love, I don't think. Not for the fans, not for the source material, not for the author of the source material. And so what is the love inspiring this artwork for? Nobody knows, and I don't know, and I guess I will have to wait a few months to have an answer to this question. Anyway, sorry, that is it. I think for this rant I will record another one in a few months, and we'll see each other again, guys. Bye bye.